Hey friends, it's Sammy. Welcome back to the homestead. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my garden and kind of show you what else we've got going on around here. This is one of our smaller mulberry trees, younger I should say, and it does have some mulberries on it, and we could pick some of these. This one looks like it's ready to come off right now. This one right here. There it is. Let me see if I can get it in the sunlight. See? So anyway, some of them on this tree we can reach. The other ones that we have are so high up that we have to just kind of wait till they ripen and fall off, and then we just pick them up off the ground. There's some pretty purple flowers. I don't know what they are, but they're pretty. Here I'm on the side of the house, and this is like our propane pipe here that goes to our grill. But we planted some mammoth elephant ears right here and right here, so hopefully those will come up and cover that area, and we just love those giant elephant ears, so those will be beautiful. And then here are the strawberries. They kind of just go around the corner here, and a lot of mine died from last year. I don't know what happened there, but I covered them with straw and everything. So I've bought that little bitty patch right there because I know that they spread so quick. But anyway, so there's our little strawberry patch. I've got some lavender planted here. The girls have been picking a few strawberries while I'm filming. Aren't they pretty? So directly behind me where the strawberries, where I showed you the strawberry patch, is we're at the back of the house now, and this trellis here was actually given to me by my cousins. They were tearing down or moving their trailer home, their modular home, and that was on the bottom of the modular home, like for the skirting. And so they told me I could have that, and I thought, fantastic, I'll have a trellis for my cucumbers. So my husband put two together here, and we use twist ties to hook those together so it's a little bit longer, and my cucumbers will grow up on the trellis. There's the cucumbers. They've come up very nicely, and here are the other cucumbers. They're growing really nicely. So this box here it was already here, and then I asked my husband to build me a few more boxes for plants. Usually I have this whole garden just like filled up all in the ground everywhere, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna have it more manicured this year. I just am. So anyway, I've got these. I love these boxes. He built this one, and then that one there, and then there's one over there, and I'll kind of show you here. I've got peppers in this one. My daughter and I put a sunflower right here, and also in this other box right here, but they haven't come up yet, and on the other corners. In this box I have bell peppers. We don't go through a whole lot of bell peppers, and I even still have some in my freezer. So anyway, I've got some of those planted in that box. I'll just go ahead and show you here. I have some little peppers growing here. I think some Anaheim peppers. Those are my marigolds that I grew. And here's a squash plant. My son had given us these buckets. His mother-in-law owns a bakery, and she gets these giant buckets anyway, so he gave those to us. So there's some baby squash here, and I've got another squash here. I decided to just grow 2 yellow squash and 2 zucchini this year, and that is it. And then this one over here, I have tomatoes growing in. The trellis, see, there's more of this here. I have it on the back. We put these in here, and we're going to lift this up so when my tomato plants get taller, we'll tie them up back here. We've got radishes planted in the front here. They're not coming up yet. So there's that box. Looks like we've got a little tomato growing here. We've got a lot of blooms, but that's the only tomato growing so far. I wanted to show you guys what I do with the ones that are the part that's growing out of the armpit is what they call it, and usually you pick those off and toss them. I'll wait for this one to get a little bit bigger. I'm having a hard time finding them because I've already taken a bunch off, and I've got them inside soaking. You can just pick this off, and I could probably go ahead and pick that one off. Pick it off, and you soak that in water, and it'll get roots, and then you can, you know, have another tomato start. You can plant that somewhere else and have more tomatoes. Back here I have my asparagus bed, which, you know, a lot of them have already popped up, and we've cut them. It's not full. It gives us, you know, probably about 20 right now during the season. There's one here. Aside from the little asparagus bed, I have cantaloupe planted in here, and they haven't sprouted yet. But I have never put cantaloupe on a trellis, and that is what my plan is. I just have this leaning up against a tree, and I have them lined up against here, and I'm going to try to grow them up this lattice. I usually just have them all over the ground, and critters seem to get my cantaloupe a lot, so I thought I'm going to try that out. Here I have a blueberry bush. I have never grown blueberries. It seems like I've tried and it never worked out for me, but my son, like I said, gave us these tubs, and I saw that he had one planted in his container, and I researched it, and I thought, hey, I am gonna try to do the same thing, so we'll see how that goes. Here I have some eggplant growing, just a couple, and it rained last night. What a blessing. I have another lattice here. This is usually what I grow my cucumbers on, but you know, I have the trellis over there that my husband put together, and this one here we will grow some cucumbers here too. I make a lot of pickles, and we eat a lot of cucumbers. We love to eat eggplant, and the tomatoes. I have so many tomato plants growing because we go through so much tomato sauce. You can make manwich, ketchup, diced tomatoes, you know, for your salsa. We go through a lot of tomatoes. So anyway, there's that, and then back over to the bigger box that was here before. These are all tomatoes. More tomatoes in this box. And see, we're not, you know, completely done here. I'm gonna have to put a panel here, and like I said, we'll lift those up high enough to tie those the tomato plants on. And these tomato plants, do you remember my video before, the supercharged, how to plant supercharged tomato seeds? I'll link the video on here, but these plants, I mean, I buried those things so deep, and that's kind of why they look so small. I mean, they have an amazing root system, I'm sure, down below. I've got a little bit of rabbit fertilizer there. I have some green onions growing in here, so this thing will be just full of green onions. We go through a lot of those for our salsas, and we eat them on our baked potatoes and things like that. My fence line here, my rabbits are inside this fence, but the fence line here, I have green beans growing. They will grow up on the fence just like a trellis. A lot of green beans, and I still have a lot of green beans in my freezer. I have a lot of green beans in my that I have canned also. So I have this swimming pool over here that I had onions growing in before, and I think that maybe I'll put some potatoes in there. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that yet. This thing is going to be so beautiful when it's full of cucumbers and greens, you know, to walk through, so we could just, you know, walk under it, and it's going to be so pretty, and it's very tall. My husband is very tall, and he can walk underneath there. You know, I haven't even planted my herbs yet. I'm still going to have to break out my Dollar Tree stackables that I got when they were $1. Now they're $1.25, but I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put those. Before I had all my herbs in like a big blue bucket that my brother made, and the, you know, herbs just came out of everywhere. But anyway, so this year I'm going to try the stackable. This is the blue container that my brother built, and I usually keep my herbs in there. We emptied it out last year, and we're going to take it back over to him. He has one over there, but anyway, I'm going to try to use my Dollar Tree stackables this year. And when I do break those out, I'm going to have my husband put rebar, like a bar right down the middle of them, so that they'll be pretty, you know, steady. They won't fall over or whatever. And I'll show you a video when we do that. There is our lovely, lovely hammock. It's so nice to lay on that hammock, and just right next to the garden. Kids trampoline. There's our pool. Now this is on the other side of the house. This is like a green box, okay? There's a lot of lettuce in here, a lot of greens and things, and really it's a lot of it looks like it needs to be, you know, either used up or it just kind of seems like it's got out of control here. And then next to that is my potatoes. I'm growing some potatoes in here. I use the Ruth Stout method, which is straw underneath, and then you lay all your potatoes on top of it, and then on top of that you put a ton of straw, and you just keep it watered. There's a lot of greenery growing, you know, around this, but the stuff just kind of goes crazy. My husband is constantly pulling this stuff, but anyway, there's just like one potato here growing, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Look at how beautiful that is. That makes me so happy. But anyway, I have grown lettuce and greens and kale and things like that in this before, but I'm going to clean this out probably today, and maybe I'll just put some flowers in there this time around. Poppies over here. This is the front of the house. It needs to be cleaned up too. This area here, I haven't really grown anything in it before. It's got honeysuckle growing up here. We have this fabulous tree that grows through the deck, and it is way tall and gives us a little bit of shade here in the summertime. So anyway, back here, I'm going to clean this up today also, and maybe put some flowers in here. Homesteading, it's just never ending. There's always something to do. So anyway, I do plan on putting something. I think I'll put flowers back here too. I think that'll be pretty. We'll see. Here is our tree swing that you've probably seen in other videos that the kids are always swinging on. Out here, there are a lot of medicinal herbs, wild growing. There's like red clover, plantain. There's a ton of pokeweed out there, of course. Some yarrow root, or excuse me, just yarrow. All right, we made it. There's another mulberry tree, and you can see it is way up there. When we come out here, sometimes it's just full of mulberries and we go crazy. So fun to do, and plus so delicious. They make great jellies. Somewhere over here there's blackberries. Since they're not shown up yet, I have a hard time finding them, but they're over here somewhere. We find blackberries everywhere, but I think, as you know, it seems like blackberries just kind of go crazy. Once they start, they take over. Oh my goodness, we're very surprised. One of my daughters and I are back here at this mulberry tree, and they are just everywhere. They're way up high. This one's not too high. Let's see if we can get... Look at those. Aren't those beautiful? So these come back every year. And then we have some blackberries down here. Our blackberries grow across the fence line here, and we have our little ladder. They all grow behind the fence line, so we climb over our little pool ladder that I bought, and we pick our blackberries and pick up our mulberries that have fallen. We got some picked here. The little girl and me have been out here picking them. I think we'll wait till husband gets home and he can get the ones that are dark. He can climb up the ladder and get those a little bit higher than we can. So anyway, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.